Ahoy! Kumusta? Dave Fuentes here, your host. Solo flight takaron because Mike is in church service. However, I wanted to give a proper intro to our very special guests for this episode. An amazing couple who hold a special place in my heart. It's been decades, dugay na gid, since we've seen each other, but the vibe's still there, no love lost. We talked about our memories at school, mental health, among personal struggles sa una, and following a trivia, kinsay nahulog sa kanang. That will be interesting. Without further ado, please help me welcome my dear friends, Ivor and Bambi Alegrado. Let's start from the beginning, kumbaga. Grade school. I know, Ivor, we've wow ka dumdum ko kano sa tanang classmate in grade school or the classmate pa ta grade school.
Classmate, I think, grade 5 man siguro.
Grade 5, no?
Diamond ka, di ba?
Diamond. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I think grade 5. It was grade 5. Grade 5, 6. Yeah, but Bam, I didn't know her.
Oh,
Okay,
Bam,
after yun,
so were you corpus ever like from the beginning sa grade school?
Grade 1.
Grade 1. Okay.
Oo.
Ikaw,
Pero hapon. Oh.
taga-hapon ka. Ikaw, Show.
ako loyalty award din eh.
Loyalty award.
Nursery to fourth year high school.
Oh, you even started nursery. Ako wala ko ng nursery. Diretso ko nag-kinder 1.
Nursery.
Oh, wow, nursery. Okay, so from each one of you, I'd love to know what were your sort of highlights or what can you remember na murag memories like fine memories from grade school. I'm curious to hear your stories.
Sige, you wanna start?
Hello. Now,
Sige.
you asking that question, I realized so long ago.
Uliki, I know, but it's still like, for example, I'll give you one memory. Na si Mike makakuan gina siya kay it's fascinating yung memory kay makadumdum pa siya mga areas sa school. Like he would tell me katong nay area nga sa likod nga gate nga wala na ko kadumdum. If you remember katubit og pamaligya og soft drinks. Nay pamaligya og soft drinks, then nay stand nga pizza, gapamaligya pizza. And then towards the end, na gate dito sa likod, which wala na ako man remember. And
maka-remember po ka na. There's this gate na I think pag gawas ni mo ato, mura siya access road ayon sa barangay.
Oh,
sa
yes.
part sa
Yes.
Ka-remember pa ka na, but nakay ko, vague lang kayo, padulong when you go out, going left. Pero going right, pag subayan ni mo, mabalik ka sa main road.
Yeah. Mura siyang mutuyok. And there are...
Yeah. Believe na ako, no? Mickey, no? Kaya he gets to
Pero boy wonder ko na si Mickey. Uy,
yes.
Cute. I mean, he was like the, pro-mill kid kind of. Ako ma-remember ba kaya na-traumatize ko sa Land Before Time. Gipa. So, na siya tong grade 1 man siguro ta. I don't think that was a good idea bito to show to a 7-year-old. I mean, it left an emotional trauma.
Emotional trauma, yes, true. Dili pa ako. I mean, karon you mentioned it. Yes, it was emotional trauma, but it's also memorable no na to realize how important family was at that very young age. Kaya murag namatay ang mama. So, sakit ba kaya ni tanawon?
Yeah, nagipakanta rin tag If We Hold On Together. Wow, epic kayo ba? Man, so what a way to cap it, di ba?
True.
Ang pinaka...
Yeah, go on, Cho.
Nga ma-remember. Katong Sparkle and Friends.
Sparkle and Friends.
Hindi na ako malimtan si who's this?
Teacher Donna.
Donna si... Ayan si William.
What's up na naman?
I think, appeal mo siya sa mga sa mga elves. Si Bam yata, appeal siya sa dwarf, of course. Siguro because of the height. But I wasn't there. But that was like the it, di ba? Kaya when you were part of the play, it's like Teacher Donna really likes you or sees a gem in you, di ba? So mumantong ko na kung kulbagin sila o gipili na sila kay nagin sila something ba din kaningwa na pili wala pakpak ra kaya
Pakpak. Mo ba na katong play nga nasa kuan? Nga nasa stage?
Tita. Yes, grade 3 ta na.
Grade 3. I think I might have joined Sparkle and Friends. Murag kahoy man siguro ko. Murag nakadumdum ko nag-ana og kahoy.
But di ba? But the good thing is there's a role. Di ba? Muna naka-nice, di ba? I don't know si business ni Teacher Donna to, but then again, people got roles. Then I think si Corinne Boliosos pa tong witch yata. She, di ba?
Oh yeah, I remember. So, sakto.
Yeah, but di ba parang pag nice story about Sparkle and Friends, like you're like the it, diba? These are the guys. Pero lagi okay ra kag kahoy or dwarf, yeah, basta kay Sparkle and Friends.
Yes, yeah. I think I remember, and di lang ko sure, gamay raman sa to play ato. Basta kadumdum ko that I carried murag siya props. Basta it was a tree. Kadumdum lang ko, it was a tree props ato. So, na play. So, amot lang ko mo gito, but yes, mo na ako memory ato. Bam, there was question for you. Okay, kami ni Ivor pa kuan magimi nami sa buntag. There was and ay murag we've talked to people as well. Napagi murag dili man sad murag friction, but there's this comparison between mornings and afternoon na feel ba na nimo sa una sa grade school?
I think I just kept to myself, mga good kind of person. I wasn't into those. I think I was just concerned with myself and moving along. Just focusing on studies. I think I've always been that kind. So, wala ko nga na ay comparison or competition. Maybe the upward would be competition sa morning, afternoon. Yeah, I didn't feel it. I don't remember nga na ay competition, but I'm sure there might have been.
I also never thought that there was competition, but feeling na ako daghang gid bright sa hapon nun. Umuta kong na-think before, but in terms of like fun and anything yung mga related I think we were
ito ang group nagipang train for
science lagi.
Science nila Marcalo. Apel ka ato Dave sa inana nga group sa itong mga bright folks?
No, not. Pero I remember my proudest moment is winning third place in a spelling bee. Mura na akong proudest moments sa grade school, yeah.
Ako siya, proudest moments kay yung moment rather is, loyalty award.
Loyalty award.
High school, bisang pa, di ba, it encapsulates your Corpus Christi, di ba? Tenure. Imagine na pareha kag medal ni Mark Canyos. Grabing to ni Mark Canyos. Diba? He was like the it. They studied.
No.
All I did be loyal. Diba? So, na-premyo. So, but anyway, going back to grade school, I think it was I think we had so much fun. Afternoon, basketball tas diba?
That's true.
Sa Makasakbigan. I don't know if you remember siya, Michael Ganyo.
Oh, diba? Michael Ganyo, yes.
I mean, itong Canadian, Mike and Bisaya na cool guy, and I can remember sila Jai, of course, Jihan, and we magduwa tas makasande. I think those were for me, those were highlights. Joreo Rimaco, we were I think sa ato nga side, ako ma-remember is really more of fun. But ang mga people, it felt like I felt like they were the smarter ones. Diba?
Yeah, I had that impression too.
Your names ba nga, there was this like April this girl. Amo ra mga kinakusgan dire, mga Samikihano man to amo, mga Jocelyn Villarasa. Dayon ang and we're known for Yancy Chu, di ba, man? Guys, we were more focused on fun, but sa hapon yun nakita something bitaw ning mga tawhanan ning ma-mention kinsa man ni sila, then you get to see them pag first year mo day ni di ay. So,
that's true. Um,
Puro Deadpool na. Like, Little Po. Remember ko atong I have my little pony. Elocution is the worst for me.
nga naman.
Remember mo nga ang corpus, ana? Kaya di ba ipa-recite ta sa front?
True.
Sa grade 1, I would remember kay I have a little pony.
Yeah,
Tapos, Captain, my captain.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Yes.
Makita ni mo siya ba nga for BAM and academics kayo ma-remember. Ang ako naman concern sa una, di lang ko makaigit. I'm fine. And I'd rather, walay awards or anything like that. It's just fine, basta di lang ka makaigit. But I had an incident before, di ba atong kinder 2 kay we were, di ba same grade school campus, di ba? Nato sa Ubos. And remember katong kanal sa atbang sa ship at lunch nga wala pa so bay nahulog
ka dito.
Kubay lunchtime bay. Kaya na ba itong dismissal time ng gawa sa mga tao. Then you know me, di ba? Panito kay kanang mo to memorable kini siya ako every time I get to talk to people about this. Kana ba itong makadumdum kag kanal moments. Ako gitong nakanal and kana ba itong pagting panggawas na and the funny thing kay we had huge backpacks tapos ko atong I think basta I think this was a girl nga I had sa ato and she was medyo chubby and of course ako ko yung bag. So, di ba, I was just following her. Pati kayo. Then ang kanal na sa right side kibalid. Pay nanawag siya. So pagtuyok niya siya, imagine na naigo ko sa bag. Kayang bag bay din gamay kay ko nahulog ko. Katunga ako nawas sa kanal. Di ko
ka.
Good thing bay. Good thing my dad was there. Kaya tisundo na. Ang funny thing kay gitanaw ko sa kong papa ba yung first question, would you believe me siya, nagunsa ka diha? Hello, nahulog. Nagunsa man swimming.
Wow, that's a memory.
I look back at it, grabe ba yun? Kasi hulog, gibira ko niya, gibalik niya sa sulod, kay nag-wash up niya siya, sa CR din. Remember katong rag sink na to, nga pahaba. Nakatiles para mapapuling ang water.
Likod sa principal's office.
Likod sa principal's office. Dito, may gawas gana. Mura may galimas ba?
Wow.
It was tragic, but look at it now. It was also funny.
Wow, that's a memory. Karon pa ko kabalo.
Core memory gina siya for me. Core memory.
Salamat sa pag-share. Actually, speaking also of grade school, we wanted, both Mike and I wanted to ask you this. So Ivor was very, very popular with his collectibles. So ang among question is, where are your trading cards and your basketball shoes? If napa sa imo, what have you done with them?
Yeah, ang trading cards, I really tried to keep it yun. Nasendo ang balay sa kumami.
Oh.
So everything. So I had premium ones dito. Di ba, when we collected basketball cards, there were these cards we call rookie cards. No? These are debut cards sa mga basketball players, and usually if the player is really popular, mahal ang ilang cards. I had Kobe's, I had Iversons. Di ba mo itong sikat nga, di ba, era of basketball, the Ray Allen, so I had them, and Steve Nash, and I kept them. I had napakoy jerseys sa una and had some items that were already signed. Nag-progress man akong collection, but in an instant, na-wash out. Pati ang mga old shoes, mga shoes na wash out. I still like sneakers though. Karon kasi Bambi yun sa octopus. Naman na yung ngayon kanang I mean I've really been fond of shoes ever since. But the cards, I wanted to go back, but to start from the very beginning, wala na, lisod na.
Ingon ba sila? I heard some sort of influencers in the US and kanang mga high profile collectors that trading cards, I think they mentioned that it would come back, I think since last year or a couple of years ago, and I thought of you. It's like, ay, ginansya si Ivor gidani gid kumubalik yun.
Punta grabe to kanang naiuban gyud nga siguro I got it before mga $5 lang pila na so na di ba. Nagkaroon easy $225 USD. So but then when I look at when I look back at it, wala gyud masalbar. And even if I would try to, like save it or kanimo di ba kanang naslim rag sudlan nga plastic, you call it Ultra Pro. Wala na, the moment you pull it out, sudlan siya then. The value of card, it really gets ma-zero gyud siya ba. So it was very painful because I invested. It's not really much of ang money involved, but how you got the
story.
Kanang you the story behind it. Kanang I could remember, I don't know if you remember si Kirby nga Bernadas.
Yes.
Kanang we really traded stuff. Some hard bargains, then you finally won some. And then all of a sudden, and everything goes down the drain. So mumtag na part nga I want to go back, but na say part nga dili siguro because I think it's more of the memories where I can't afford to.
Yeah.
Ikan pa ba?
Na-hurt po ko gamay kay pirmi wen ako to makita katong murag Bible/album bitaw.
Yeah, man, like di ba marami na kay binder, di ba? Sabi mo notes ba?
And na binder and atong katong mga individual packs nga dito gid isulod tong mga hologram mga rookie cards, as you said. That was memorable for us because ikaw to and as well as Kirby, nakadumdum po ko Kirby. Those were some things that were wow, this guy collects. And I think it's either ikaw or someone else also were collecting Marvel comics even before, right?
Si Gasi.
Si Gasi, yes, Marvel comics.
Gasi collects katong X-Men. Phil Bars, siya tong kanabitang pasikatan kanya itong mga hologram cover ng X-Men. I could not forget na siya Storm ba itong cover nga. Marami itong silver nga mo reflect pag anaana. Then rag siya rin ni captive ba. Kuya, yung taan. So, so, comics ito kay Gasi boy. So then di ba for Marvel cards nga dagko, so he was into that as well.
So now I've seen your Gundam collection now, and it's naka-recall po ko that you've continued your passion for collecting. How did that come about? And Bam, are you influenced ba ani or nagpugong ba ka ani nga collection? What's your take on the whole Gundam thing?
Actually, nag-evolve na siya, Dave. Gundam is how he started, but now ang yung craze is Warhammer na po.
Warhammer 400. Sakto ba? Warhammer 400? Oh, yes.
So, siguro a lot of people don't know this, but I'm really a geek. Di lang din siguro more obvious before, but I have I'm so fond of it's not even the collecting stuff. Like karon I'm more of wanting to paint. It's something that would distress me. So I like it. A lot of people would comment ba nga, anong Gundam pang bata man or Warhammer, but when you really do your research, these are not toys, these are kits.
Yeah.
A Gundam, a model kit, it's not a toy. It's not there are for kids, but there are really model kits that are for adults, no? It's a form of mag-distress. I kept it. It keeps the mind in order. I would say.
And do the kids share the same passion?
I would want them to, be involved, but right now, especially the boys, they tried, but teenagers, so they're more of the interact with the people. I guess in the future, they would siguro sa akong aside, mas ning kick off ang akong wanting to collect and paint more. I was in college na, 18 years old, yata ko ito. 17, 18.
Okay. So that painting side of collectibles started way before pa day.
Yes, way before pa. But siguro karon mas medyo mas ning daghan kay mas accessible na. Especially the paints that you can have good things, but if you have bad paint, then it Tagalog justice ang work.
True.
So
kada adto na mo og Japan, there are some like collectible stores that no, not collectible stores, but secondhand stores, so mga secondhand toys, and the majority of them are Gundam, like huge figures, and there was one na natukan ginako, and I thought nag-imagine ko Gundam similar to Transformers, where there's there's a certain way where you unfold them and then work attached. Pero pagkita yun ako sa Gundam, there was one nga natutukan ako on display. And the intricacies and the complexities ko, di na ko ni kaya. There are like patient people who can build this. Yung nakadumdum ko sa
ano
iwan.
siya, wa pag ilabot nga ang the manuals are in Japanese.
True.
So imagine that. No, it helps when if you're a visual learner, you know, when you watch, you observe. There are methods of building, and dapat di ka masipyat because the moment you snap it and masipyat ka, you know, to unpack it is way tougher. So I guess for me, you know, it taught me many things. I know, kaya nga it's ano eh. I kind of feel bad when people call it a toy because
inana ka passionate no kay murag kon kay.
Come on, are you doing your research, di ba? Murag inana ba? Pero it's just not really. It's not a toy. It's a kit.
What was the longest build you've ever done? You've ever completed?
Sige, nani na lang. Let's put it into categories. Na build, na paint, right? So the longest build I would say mga 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Dali na. Pero di man ko makontento og build lang. So I usually paint. Longest paint, straight, pati si Bam, yan akong gisita. 6 hours.
Wow, 6 hours.
Then siya, di ka maniud to. Wait, ano na, you know, the time flies when you're really enjoying. And you know, when you're painting, you're in that moment.
Wow.
Lain na ba ko show? I don't want to paint if I'm not in the mood.
No, I can agree to that.
If I will force myself to paint, na wala ko sa mood, I usually end up kind of bati work ba.
And you're not the type to sleep on it. Let's say half painting and then matulog sa ako and then tiwasan ako.
Night times pasagdan ako labi na ka ng curing na imong ipa-cure good. Focus you kana, you cannot touch it. I will do that. But as much as possible, siguro because limited na sa ng time or working and everything like that, tapay negosyo. So as much as possible, gusto ko dagan mahuman. Dagan yun matiwas. But reality is, kung pwede lang lagi larason. Okay. Pag magod, di ba? Pag di ba, when you're in the zone and you're painting and the next thing you know, the next day mo balik ka, magunaw na ka, yun sa gito na kong blend ha, maragina na bitaw. So and magod ka nang, I'm not also wala mo kay background of fine arts and everything like that. So I also learned the siguro the craft the more I touch things. Di ko schooling ba for it nga formal. Gamay nga art class sa Alimars, but that was
Alimars
classic kayo.
Classic kayo. Okay, anon kay. Bam, on your side, do you have anything that's that eats up your time with a similar passion as Ivor's?
Yeah. I mean, I found it so funny kay my daughter went to school. It was a day off for me. So, gipangutan na siya sa akong assistant. Nagunsa daw iyang mommy sa balay. Ang kito ba kay, she's reading a book. Oh my gosh.
Inanime ka extreme, no? She would devour books like, okay, sige, read out loud na lang so I learn with you.
That's a tip. That's a very nice tip.
Also, nana siya kay, there was a time I bought one book, I was interested in it. Pagbasa-basa pa lang na ako, the moment I got it, intro and dili pa lang nakahuman sa isa ka chapter. Si Bambi, pagsakay naman sa aeroplano ato, papauli mig Cagayan, wala na, nagkatunga na siya sa libro, nagkikaon ba? Walain sa nisag trip po, bro.
So Bam, diata magka-connect. So if I may ask you, I know we can talk about this for hours because I also read a lot of books, especially when I travel. When I travel pod, tagsa po ko kan libro ana. What's your so right now I'm reading a book called The Confidence Gap. Kay recommended sa ako by my director. And he said, you have, kay ako magod, gigingnan ko niya nga, I have the tendency to have negative self-talk, kanang self-sabotaging behaviors. I know you can, you have some background on behavior as well. So from your end, from all the books that you've read, what's one book that somehow changed your life and will always recommend to people?
Oh my gosh, that's a very hard question. Because there's so much, but just FYI, I went through clinical depression, Mangbod.
Mm.
So my interest evolved. Um, I started reading, just novels lang
Okay.
or like, okay. But then, especially when I went through depression, I wanted to find out what went on with me
Mm.
and how to prevent it. So on top of my head right now, I there's three books that I would really recommend for anyone going through that crisis. Number one is Changes That Heal, Dr. Henry Cloud.
Okay.
The Garden Within by Dr. Anita Phillips. And there's just one I just finished recently. The Body Keeps the Score. So it's written by a psychiatrist who put PTSD in the DSM.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Dr. Bessel von der Kolk. So inana ko ka geek.
When it comes to okay, ganahan ko ana
And
let's exchange notes after this call of mga libro. All right, cool. Thanks for sharing that. Let's I wanted to cross over into high school since diri man kita nag-ila tanan.
pero lahi ng corpus karon, Dave,
Yep.
like so different na. But siguro one thing that changed, wala na sila field demo sa high school. Kita
Oh.
ba until fourth year na tayo field demo?
Wala na siya way cheering.
Na field demo.
Field demo.
Na tayo field demo. Magsayaw na partner kay mong chinky ato, di ba?
Kami badito.
Ay, badito.
Ay, shout out kay
Shout out kay Badit.
Oh. Anyway, so I remember speaking of field demo, katong grade school ta Hawaiian. Remember ka? Dili. Matik pa tong caveman kay medyo covered kay Magina Hawaiian. Puruntong ka daw kung napay mas hip-hop sa hip-hop ka to na diba butangan din kag orchids nga kuan and okay ra gid untag okay mong panglawas queerdas pa gyud diba come on grabe to emotional damage kay to diba kanang remember ko grabe ni ko mga core memory sa una picturean pa ta tong mama but never get an smile.
Sure, kadumdum kag natay field demo nga naghimo-himo patag sundang, naghimo-himo patag kuan. Di ko kadumdum ko.
Shield nga cartoon.
Oh, shield nga cartoon bitaw.
Yeah.
Hindi ko kayo rememberaan.
Remember ko na. Kana lagi ka na we get into so many things to do nga and sa tinod lang kay di ba when you're growing up murag dili nimo gusto buhaton. Dili ano ma-uplift ano ba ma-traumatize.
Later on, siguro mga third year in high school when ako na-appreciate ang mga field demo, mga foundation day because obviously murag it's a break then mag civilian clothes, non-school uniform. Yeah, and those parts I start to enjoy and also ma-realize pa na ako nga we don't usually hang out with people outside of our circle. And usually foundation day I have to maghalubilo, magdula-dula and those I appreciate. I was like, oh, okay. Now it makes sense. But before
medyo when I look back sa high school medyo I find it really funny ba. I used to wear super baggy pants. Like,
yes, diba? The baggy pants.
The baggy pants, like isuksok ni mo shoe. There's a way to do it, and you feel like you're cleaning the whole, pathway. But if during that time I felt like it was a cool thing, but when I look back at it now, oh no, why did I put myself into that? I know. But when my kids are wearing baggy pants, karon I go, anak, come on, like yeah.
Balik naman po.
Balik na.
Yeah, but to be fair, to you, Sho, you pulled it off, Mangod. Okay, I think you pulled it off because I think you were one of the first, ana ba? And you stuck to it. And yeah, maybe you find it funny now, but it was part of your identity back then. Well, speaking of Bam, what were your thoughts of Ivor when he was going through that phase?
Identity crisis.
Diba? Panigay na siya, diba? She can be so truthful in many things. Perks you're being a friend,
I mean, it was like a big leap from first year.
Mm.
Okay, ako memory ni Ivor sa first year pa murag mag-basketball, manggod mo ug to. Diba? And then simot kaayo, then ibalik din ang uniform. I mean,
Then, kulang pa na, basketball nga nag-topsider.
Yes.
So,
care sa iyang fashion ba? And then, all of a sudden, like, what the change?
Kanumdum ko sa speaking of basketball, there was one time nga murag natoy murag elbow pad sa akong dad because that my dad usually used to play tennis before. And kita mo ko sa una sa NBA na lagi mag elbow pad. So kabalo man ko mag basketball so nag elbow pad ko. Ikan siya one din ko ni Bang Kirigo bay. So Munwin man zero to or kinsa kay magulang? Lagi Munwin di ba? Ang magulang.
Munwin.
So Munwin kahilas ba kay mag elbow pad. Eh di na ako malimtan marag na wala man kay ako na lagi tangtang bahala di. Kay mo tato ko itrapo sa singot ba. And basketball.
During our time, di ba, dapat may conforme ba, di ba? Nga inani basketball muna siyang pattern. So if you do something that's way different, even with how we carry ourselves, medyo off lugar.
True.
So,
basketball gito. Bam, for the girls, especially within your circle, what was the thing? What was the thing especially in around third year, fourth year high school? Naman mo yung mga activities? Were you maybe into arts, into shows?
Remember, gosh, ako ma-remember man ba nga identity ang Jansport bag.
True.
I mean, the Jansport bag.
The Jansport bag.
It's like the it, diba? I mean, you can be dressed with anything, but then if you have a Jansport bag, you're the it. And it has to have the leather para mas premium.
Yes, true. Mahal-mahal ba yung ito, no? Did you, unsa ba inyong mga I remember sa mga lalaki ato, well, I think it's both the lalaki and babae, that the cinema in Katkay was one thing magtipok on the weekend. Diba?
Well, ako kay uyab-uyab ko itong panahon. So,
true.
Scoops and di ba so
scoops and cones ba to?
And
Okay ka magpa-page dayon sa Katkay.
baklay dayon and McDonald's sa likod mukaon.
Yes.
And mo nang ako ang Saturday kay Berg, wang piling ako sa balay. So I always found myself dito. Then, di ba? Then, remember ka show nga, ang atbang sa scoops and cones kay vacant na space, di ba?
Yeah.
Kanang nasa tong kay karon. Then, paso-paso din to. Lulapan sa tani. Mana ka ba? Look back at it.
Paso-paso din na yung mga mulabay ng mga sikat nga taga-lain school, mga
dito. Munang ganan kay ko sa scoops and scone kay daghan kam kita. So ganan ka pa-star dito ba magtanatan-tanaw ka. So di ba, it was you were there not for the ice cream, you were there for the view.
Yeah.
So,
ang buwan ko kay kanang magpa-page kasi imong gihulat.
Yep.
Diba? Dito na rin magtambay sa customer service kaya magpa-page na ka kung kinsa imong friends na gihulat dito.
And
hindi na usong scoops and cones lagi. Ito na magulat. It's the it place.
Yeah, that was such a huge thing. Batch would love to hear some of the sort of batch questions that we have. Favorite teacher for either one of you?
Favorite teacher.
Ako na lang, Ralph Cecilio.
Oh yeah, of course.
Hands down. Us too.
The man,
siya legend.
Siya ang I find medyo gakalingaw kanya si Teacher Avo.
Open.
Oo. History. Malingaw ko niya to because yung personality.
I actually really admire Teacher Rose Alemania.
Rose Alemania, yes.
I mean, she was really great. I mean, she made geometry and trigo easy.
Wow. Like ka ba? Paano ka level up ka sa mga into
siya ng mga schooling, di ba? Kung ginaon na
academics
wala yung
gigis.
masayon-sayo na ni Sir. Uy, grabe. Uy,
Pero yeah, I love Sir Ralph. You know, I actually took Shakespeare as an elective in college because of him.
Yep.
So I had an equally good teacher also sa UP when I chose that elective. So murag, wow, it's like reliving high school when I had that class in college.
So
yeah, he's not.
So lately lang po, I mean maybe 10 years ago, akong i-review ang Romeo and Juliet na what's this?
Katong Betamax version.
Katong Leonardo DiCaprio bitaw. And
okay.
I started reading it and ayaran ako kanang lahi bitaw ng medyo nang mature na ta kay is kanang mas nasabtan nimo unsa ilang gusto ipasabot ato. But before in high school when you were reading, or at least for me, when I was reading it and getting na explain ni Sir Ralph, medyo foreign pa bitaw kay nimo by the way Shakespeare writes. It's not the traditional sort of English that we're used to. But karon ma-appreciate na nimo, which is Sir Ralph, hands down.
Yeah.
Kani, I like this. Mike wrote this. What were your memories of each other in high school? Dili pa after high school. What were your probably akong pagutanon una si Bam. Bam, what were your memory of Ivor? Apart from the baggy pants phase. And basketball. Kaya naka-mention magkag-basketball. So apart from those, what were your memories of him or impression of him?
He really had good conversations. I think that's thing that that we kept until now. So talked a lot. Kaya di ba ng Catholics mong good me? And then we had that
First Friday. Yeah. Di ba, kung na First Friday Mass, we get to gather in another classroom ba to, library ba? Cafeteria.
So during those times, talk, and I think we had really meaningful conversations during those times. So yeah, if there's anything apart from the sweaty basketball and the baggy jeans and the chain, don't forget the chain.
Yeah, the chain, yes. Part na siya,
the
part.
bandana also.
Ayun na, ibalik ko yung may traumatized pa ito.
Oakley shades.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Nakalimot di ko ana day, which is on First Friday. Yeah. So you guys had your time together during those.
Yeah. And together with Joy Padolina.
No.
Kita no?
Kita na yun.
Right.
Kami naman duha ang Catholics good.
Got it.
Ako sure it's the same.
It's the same, yeah.
Ganino. Siguro, segue ko gamay. Si Bam ang first person nga kung giingnan nga nagbulag akong parents.
Interesting.
Diba, remember, sa atong karon normal naman siya, dili normal, popular naman na, it's so accepted na nga, wala nag-workout ang marriage and people it's okay, people just move forward from there. Pero sa atong time, when your peers would find out that your parents were separated, it's like, there's something wrong with you. Nga na bitaw, murag madalahig ka sa pagkawalay klaro silang relationship. And I was carrying that kay grade 5 pa man, binuang na kong papa. So to cut a long story short, so wala kay maingnan kay maulaw ko. And for some reason, I find myself talking to her about it. So dito ko mo gina ako memory niya kay technically I wasn't really attracted to her to begin with. Yeah, but the conversations kana bitaw storyahan nato ni, and I look forward to talk. So mo ginto ang nauso itong hello party line, so like
yeah, I remember your story show, and it was karon na ako na realize nga when I heard your story kay nakabalo man ko ani, I think grade school pa ko nakabalo ani or high school about your story about your parents. I could not make anything out of it. Murag lisod siya. I didn't have the impression nga murag magbinuang ka or you got lisod lang siya sabton nga someone else's parents. Murag ako na remember ato is thinking it must be hard for you. Muna ako na think kay
and there was a time, I don't know if you remember kanang amigo mo ginta. But nay times nga ikaw wala kay problem ba't ako ma-awkward ko gamay because my dad was no longer living sa mong balay. Dito na sa Villa, katong shop na mo sa Villa Vicente, near your place. Diba?
Yeah.
Bakit awkward pa kayo dito nagauli akong papa. So it was that, and ka-remember pag ko atong naabit ka-remember katong values nga na islambok then ginapa-partner ta ni who's the teacher galit itong babae nga gamay. Vilma, partner mi ni Leslie Paras ato bro. So naipart ato ba nga you need to meet the parents kay to interview and to meet to take photos. I came up with so many lies and alibis to an nga my dad na inani na project na ubang tinuod pero nakauli na gyud i-exaggerate na lang nako nga dugay pa siya makabalik kana kay ngano kanang because di man ko ganahan ma-judge. So mamrag na ako I was afraid and I was also forward thinking kayo ba advance kay mag-isip nga wala na pud sa lugar and but with Bam it was different kay we were just talking and kung magyud na ako inani akong nakuan inani akong papa klaro kana kung muna imong point ba nga dili nimo ma-imagine how much na lang ako okay my dad was so good to me muhatag pa to na kog kwarta pag ayam ka pa dong laag ka tagaan ka hatod pa ka diba so I was very supported sa akong papa mas na feel na compression sa akong papa. Then all of a sudden then you found out ngayon nani diba so my world really shattered.
Sure, I hope you don't mind me asking about this, but I remember grade 5 grade 6 someone gave you a new pair of shoes. We were outside and he was with you. I'm not sure kung imo tong dad or was it your uncle. Basta I remember this natas makasandigad to. You were given a brand new pair of shoes and he was with you, he was talking with you. And then nagdula actually na hunong mi adto because you were talking with him. Was that your dad?
Remember ba ito? Dili. Muna siya ang ako, stepdad karon bana sa akong mama. My parents are null, diba? So, remember ko sa shoe, black and white, Sean Kemp Kamikaze.
Yes, 100%. Diba? Yes, that was it.
Remember pa na ako. So, diba, when, moto ko identity when I was in grade 5. Pag nakakamikaze siya na. Diba? So like the it put. So, diba, when you're young and you're innocent, parang you're diba, you're just receiving. Just and everything like that. But, along the way, I figured out, there's something going on with boots.
Welcome to the pod, Tito Mike.
What up?
Maayong gabi niyo dia. Hello. Dave, sorry di kayo. Bam, kumusta?
Kaya may problema.
Layo-layo na ba ming na...
Welcome to the podcast.
Nadugay ko kagikan po nag-service na ay feast fellowship. So so there medyo na gamay overflow but yes. So as you were Dave.
All right. So high school before we end high school I can you guys give a shout out to your cliques, to the people that you've shared most of your time with kaniadto before we graduated? Do you still remember the mga classmates sa mga kuan?
Of course, kita given ta no.
Yeah.
And kinsa man yun ang grabe no. Si Sam, si Maymay.
Yeah.
Taud pud mi. Kinsa man yun. Lorinsid. Grabe ba seatmate na ako. Lorinsid.
Queenie.
Si Queenie ba grabe di ko kasabot og math ato si motudlo na. Diba? Tong Tres Marias pa.
Yes.
Lorinsid, si Johnny Notarte and
there you
si
go.
Ann Paras, diba? Sila to ang marami to makayong kog bibong mga kasura. Si Lawlaw. Glory nga Lindley.
Shout out Lawlaw.
Na-classmate me first year, I really thought ba nga, mura man ni siya strict tabay kulukoy man ka.
Yeah.
And kani, isa po para sa ako, tagan kay kumaingon no.
Go for
si
it.
Apay. Si Apay, seatmate me third year. And katong third year ko, mutong pinaka-rock bottom na ko as a person. Katong kasagsagan, I mean, siguro, segue lang gamay ka ng, at 13 years old, I had to go to court.
Oh, really?
Okay,
Wow.
yes, I had, a lot of people don't know. Si Bam, she knows that. I had to testify to prove that my dad was a bad man so that we will win at the annulment case.
Wow.
Can you imagine that you're saying
Oh,
something
wow.
awkward to your hero? Well, may atrasa kong papa sa ako, but so he really hit rock bottom and I always found myself katulgon. Then marag time din ako gamon naog, sila kag katuluga, magkagalmo ako galuya. And si Apay would always, she's very thoughtful. Kung dili ko niya tagaan na tong papel nga puti. Di ba? Kato di ba natay pad paper, di kita tong brown kato puti. Di ba nga dark ang
True.
Merit.
Merit ba na? Si
Merit.
Apay, iyak tagaan ana, iyak kong tagaan o kung mentos or whatever that is, for some reason, wag siya kabulo what I was going through, but she would do that. And si Ryan Vega,
shout out.
grabe to siya.
The late Brian Vega.
We also talk and kung po to kanang okay po to siya ka storya. Funny thing kay ang mga conversations ni Ryan Vega before, I would ask him ba nga, do you see yourself magkapamilya ka pohon? Like that. Yeah. Maybe he would always tell me nga, maybe this is just a phase sa akong life, but I would look forward to have kids. We were third year. Talks about things like that, diba? Siya, and of course, pag fourth year na ako, tinuod magid to ni Teacher Divine Auxilio ba nga, gingnan ko niya, Mr. Alegrado, if you do not shape up, i-transfer ka na general section pagka fourth year. And I was just so broken, I just told her, ibalhin na. And to
Wow.
pagka fourth year, di mo na itong na 40 na po. Pagkabot na ako 40, lahat na sa akong grupo nito, sila Neil Muñez, and they were, sila Gassi, sila Carl Eleazar, Gabi Budoy, Abelio,
There you go.
Louie, Yukab, grabe yun.
All-star.
All-star. Kulba kahit na mong line up. The boys nga doon sa blackboard. So kami to. Dayon, and there was also a different refuge I found in them. Of course, given that sila, then I met sila Buloy, sila Ding, sila Virgil, sila John Philip, si Jongi, si Japet, Tiban, di ba? Tongki. I mean, ako, si Buloy, di ba? Akong ka-share bitaw si Tongki yun, pa sa shoes siya gina. Okay, ako kay patos ba? We always talk about and they became a breath of fresh air for me in my lowest times. So
Bantog di ay. So I've observed you back in the day because syempre amigo gud ta makita gud ta ka on most of the times, and I saw
elementary po kaya, di ba?
I saw your aura change sa fourth year nga nibalhin ka kato nga sa lahi imong kalipay adto show mura kag I don't know karon pa nako na realize that you were going through something in third year, and pag fourth year mura kag dili man ngayon na dili po na ako ma-describe na kabuhi, pero klaro gid kay na nalipay gid ka fourth year murag lahi gid imong kuan ato.
Ano po, daghan ko I had to put up with many excuses. I would say facades. Kaya just kanang vulnerable ba. In fact, among relationship ni Sam nag-suffer. It's because of me. Gid kanang dili ko kabalo handle. I was bankrupt. I cannot offer anything. And the more siya mo continue, probably end up just hurting her. So the wisest and probably the manliest thing to do at the time was just probably to just
you were going through a lot of things.
It was a lot. Di ba? A lot of people don't probably know that. Maybe siguro. Okay. You don't want to talk about it. It's like taboo, when you talk about your parents. Even the get up was like, murag akong point ato ba diri na lang ko nakadaog. This is where I'm winning, this is where I'm known, my shoe, my outfit, might as well keep it, but deep inside I was just a broken man. I was so devastated.
Karon mo na I understand your mental health and our sort of mental capacity. Karon po na ko man realize nga back in high school we literally didn't know how to deal with most of the things. Kung natay problema sa family, kung nakoy issues sa kung uyab sa una, or nakoy mga, let's say, mga compensating behaviors because I wasn't really smart in school. Ana ba murag wala gyud. Karon pa nako na ma-understand nga inanto day ko inana and karon pa nako masabtan yung inyong with my friends in high school. That was how we dealt with it, di ay. No, inanto
And
ato.
worse pa yun, di ba? Kanang, especially kanang honor section, competitive kayo. Then ako, I'm really bugok yung kay kong math ba. Yeah. Sana bitang pagtingpasa na test paper ba din. Pero may gugabay kung dili mga ka third to the last gid ba. Then kana bitang di ba? So naging make di ba naging na ako siya. Pilay mo. Nakita akong pangutan na sige mo i-class bagsak bitaw. Pagkuha na ako sa test paper gipapilit na ako sa blackboard lagi. Para wala mo pana ba. Yeah. I was point ba nga. I don't need that question. I was going to so many things. Then there's the added pressure. Pag abot na ko Gen Sec, wala celebrate pag 75. Ang motto dito kay sakon man ang sobra importante pasar. Ano ba daw? So, munang lahi pud ang feel na ko dito. Pero I felt like there nawala pud na nga pressure. Diba? But it's not that it was bad in the honors class. In fact, there were so many disciplines and I had great friends.
Yeah.
It's just that at that time in my state, I dili na ko to kailangan bitaw murag. Ay ko pangutan ba pila kong kan mo to. Bubok na kay kong moral bagsak kay ko ni pangutan na mayo.
100%. I can. Masabtan yun ako na. And speaking of academics, Bam, to your sort of strength, did you experience that pressure, especially before Tada graduate? What was the pressure onto you, or okay lang sa imo? How did you feel on that side of things?
Maybe it was just because it wasn't really that difficult food.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I it wasn't that hard lang food yun. So I think it was my natural environment.
You thrived on that.
I think Marg, you thrive in your natural environment.
Yeah.
So, I was not really having a good family time also. So in fact, kung si Ivor nagbulag yung ginikanan at 14, ako at 41. Diba? This time.
Wow.
But it was like doing already over the years, and they just finally called it quits last year. So
sorry to hear.
so
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's so sad also, no. But then it wasn't that good also for me. I had a bad experience at home also, but it was probably I took refuge in that, in what I think I could win at, and that was actually school. So muna yung mga pangutanan tanaw grade 1 unsa ko ma-remember ang mga poems nga gipang memorize, pagpakanta og you were there sa grade 5. I mean those anything na public exposure was traumatizing for me. But yeah, I think that's how I cope with what was happening to me at home. I just dug deep into education, hoping it would get me out of the hell that we were also before.
And
yeah.
And I'm curious, especially because for me, and I've always told Mike this, I was never an academic, but for you, what was an academic feat or unsa tong project or whatever endeavor that you had that you were most proud of? I'm curious to hear kung nabakay, was it a project or was it maybe a test, or what was an academic feat that you were like, yeah, that was.
Siguro grade 4, I think na perfect na po almost all the exams. Murag ka na.
Wow.
Pero mas bright si Mickey. Mas bright yun
Come on.
Wala, dili na siya
Come on.
santa.
Classmate ba ta, Bam?
Siguro makayon ko
For
ba,
charity, di ba? Classmate, ano?
Dili, diligence ko.
Diligence.
Ay, perfect ko og science, og civics.
God damn.
Oh, that's tough.
Ay,
That's tough. Yeah, perfect.
Moraso na lang dahil ba nga, ma-perfect man po siguro na ako kung okay lang akong environment. Moraso
Sakto sad.
If the stars were aligned, no, perfect mangina to na.
Probably if it were a better home
Correct.
also, probably I would have performed better pag yun. But I think it was really how I compensated for what was happening in my own home.
Lahi-lahi, no? Kay siya, she would compensate ako kay I lost the drive.
Mm.
At two.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to get it over with. Mura ginala kung mindset for me. Just get this over with. I don't know. I really lost it.
Siguro for me, because my parents married young and I blamed it for, the kind of marriage that they had. Because my mom was 18 or 19, my father was 19.
Ooh.
No, 18, father
Wow.
19 ako when they got pregnant with me. So I blamed them being young and not finishing school, especially my dad, because my mom continued to go to school. So muna akong drive bitaw nga mo iwas kay kog eskwela kay I don't wanna end up like that. So muna siya akong driving force.
Wow.
Nga
Gotcha.
kailangan jud ko matuwas sa eskwela kay if not I might end up like them. So
Wow.
oh
Wow.
my gosh, the ones that are past
I mean,
bring to us.
Sure. Surprising, di ba, Dave? After hearing these stories nila doon ni Bambi, Ivor, I mean, especially kay Ivor, I mean, I never thought na during that third year, fourth year nga phase that he was actually acting out yung mga frustrations. Kay, imagine, makita na ko si Ivor, he was very active, he was kanang mobile, he was moving, he was very parang full of joy, and then he has the baddest shoe game sa amo tanan. Like, he had like, oh gosh, like, Ivor was bad during that time. Like, malaud to, mudag basket, abtik, you know what I mean? He was full of joy, but then deep inside, you're battling these things. I mean, unless you ask or unless we pried around, who would have known? Diba?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
by God's
Lagi
grace,
lang
I
din,
guess.
diba, you're trying to put up so many things kay
That's
parang I was thinking bang I need to have a semblance of a victory, a win.
Yes. Mm.
And
right. Like you said.
and whatever
Dili ko
I could
nakadaog. Yeah.
dili ko nakadaog. Kung ako'y mag-grab hold ng something or someone, so dito ko. And kani gali day, one of the things that helped me pag fourth year, si Ding Tabimina ba? Kay sige
Shout out
gitar-gitar.
din. Mm.
Grabe
Shout
ba?
out din Tabimina.
Oh, mag-gitar-gitara sila, Blitz Pahe.
Mm.
And for some reason, songs were very therapeutic,
Mm.
I guess. And
I agree.
di ba, I used to
I agree.
like hip hop so much, pero
Yes.
ang nag-expose din na ako to alternative was actually sila Tongki.
Mm.
Yun,
Silang Tongki. Shout out John Dabaon. Wow.
Shift to Foo Fighters from BIG and ano bitaw. And so it's also a different field din sila Roro Faunilian, but there's also that kay din si Ding magitong bisag asa kamuhunong bisag makawit to gitara kanta-kanta to sa bisag unsain. You know, I kind of like that. Kay na may pagka-spontaneous kung papagod. Pero you know, ato dagat igot say go then here comes si Ding na nganta ta then walay ulaw. And man, I love this. Right? You know, I'm not boxed in, so you know it helped. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's yeah, again, I'm really fascinated with this stories kay kadang make sense ni mo ba? Ato bitaw nga panahon na this is why
That's
they were,
why, di ba? Ba?
This is why they were this that way. After high school, so Kenny and I'm sure both Mike and I are also curious about this. How did I know you guys started conversations already katong first Friday as you said, but when did the love story began and how did it began? For both of you.
Yeah, you start.
Sige.
Sure.
Actually, when we were fourth year high school, I got into Victory Church. So
okay.
I actually invited him to join me in Victory when we were fourth year, but he found it baduy.
Yeah, baduy kayo kay pag mo dito sa Pugon, pagsaka. Ito nga okay na ang ambience kay pina-concert pa nangit-ngit nagmay man hinuon ng isa ka person nagmay ba of all the things to do nagmay. Ay mo ko
na si Ivor as guest na nagmine. Tora.
Nagpantomime or na-turn off.
There you go.
So I college na ta, I went to UP to study, then I got so involved in Victory there. Tapos after I finished manggod ahead of the batch kay I just finished college in 3.5 years. So I remember I came home October, and then I remembered him kay wala na magudi communication after college. Anyway, fast forward, I came home after graduation, and I just remembered him. Then sa among church, Dave, na kami prayer and fasting every start of the year. So this is 2004. So
Okay.
we have a prayer and fasting booklet. I'd like to share this part. naay ko animo i-pray nimo dito nga gusto nimo nga we'll get to know the Lord. So being in
Okay.
CD once more, I wrote his name na ma-save unta siya,
Wow.
get to. So that was January, and then I went back to UP April for my graduation. And then he just like called me, and then he told me, Bam, Ted Asuncion, April, pagkintawag sa ako ato. April, kanang gi-invite ko ni Ted Asuncion sa inyong simbahan. Ko, ha? Seriously? Ko, Victory Christian Fellowship in front of Bose Coffee Club. Di siya, inyo laging simbahan. And ko, oh my, I mean, my jaw dropped. Parang, oh my God, I believe God is real. But, you're really real. You heard my prayer for him. So
Wow.
he started going to church actually. And then I remember he called me one time and he said, he was watching Passion of the Christ and he's just crying there for 30 minutes over the phone. So that's how we actually rekindled our relationship from high school. So
Wow.
yeah, we met again in church.
In church.
So there was like from
Church.
high school to graduation, from high school to college. It was we just we just had a fall out. We didn't really communicate. He had a girlfriend during that time also. I mean, we didn't have any communication. He'd call every now and then, but it's so far in between. So it was really through the church that we met again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ano to?
And
Yung barkong
Go ahead.
balibo atong nagsulat siya. Nagsulat ni Bambi ba na unta ma-close siya ni Lord. I mean, it's the power of manifesting dito. I mean, that thing really works.
And I really
I guess.
thought as well kasi Ivor ang una ang una na member sa Victory Church.
Sa church.
Kasi parang,
It was Bambi.
Yeah, that was in Manila Mango that time. So he was already attending here.
Yeah.
Mm.
pero yeah, joker pag ito kay, kaya bitong si Ted Asuncion, older na sa ato 1 year. Kung si Bam na humatag 3.5 years in college, ako 5 years. Kay,
Okay.
3 months ko, 3 months, so wala na credit. So I had to
Right.
extend. Dungan man uli ni Nem Gako ato. So I had so much time. So magsige dula basketball, mo naman tong trip. So dula, and I ended up hanging out with people older than me kay ang uban na to mga kabatch kay nag-work naman kay graduate naman diretso, di ba? So ako wala pa, so I was in school, so I was playing ball. Timing, sige kong sabay ni Kenneth Garcia tog ni Ted Asuncion kay we ended up playing together, and si Ted would always invite me at try dito ba rin kaya bitong meron naman ko ginalangoy para mahilom. Ano ito, so I, just to cut the long story short, so I ended up there. I liked it. I
Yeah.
got it. So, but we ended up dayon dito talking. Of course, we were really friends. So, mas nabalik kamong sige storya, and we found ourselves serving, but it never really crossed my mind na siya because daghan man ko gyapon kabuang. Even prior to that, you know that, di ba? So nga, I was jumping from this relationship to that. Kana bitang, again, kanang nahulog na lang na ako siya outlet. Murag nahimo ng ba. So, it never crossed my mind. And ano ko ba, si Bambi pag yun nga, amigo lagi mi, pero awayon po mi kayo, opinionated po kayo ng taga-UP ba? Ano ba? Muk bitaw kayo, mukha ni nga, ano ko ba nga din, maglalis, din, imong English, 5 minutes na, thesis yan ihatag ni mo ko, what about ba? Ano ko na, kaya, but what was amazing, kaya along the way, nalang time, funny thing, I was in a mission trip, short-term mission trip in Vietnam, and in one of the break times dito, I just wondered bang anong gamingawon man kunyaan ni samok ba? Ano ba?
There you go, man.
Ay ba, like man siya kastorya. I've then daghan kay ko na date, nasabay, ngon ana, but this one, I always kept on reverting to this one. So, then ako'y kauban na to, nga ningon siya, nga nahimo po namong ninong, ko nga, paita kayo na, di ba? Nga, di yan akong ginan nga, why won't you be honest to yourself and honest to God about it? May mawala. So that was the first time I just said na, yeah, I was honest to God about it. Na Lord, sa magyud. Anong gamingawon nung kunya and everything like that. Funny thing, I also received a word for that, and it's part of our wedding vow. I mentioned it. But I guess that was really it. Parang it wasn't like kind of wow, si Bambi ba pagkakita ni ko pagkakita ni mo gikan sa college way mura na siya, himo na ginani. It just happened, right? I'm not saying that
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
an amazing woman because she is. Di ba dapat ginani ba nga inani man to siya naong sa una ba pagkakita mo ang drag mo nag-orchids mo. You know, it has that moment, di ba? But this one was just like, yeah, Bambi's, you know, I like it, Bummer. You know, don't get me wrong. But di ba na kayo na Merg? Pagtanaw mo sa high school bang Merg, no pansin man siya pagkakita mo sa kabo nakakaila ba noonsan dahil na siya na marang na siya na hamis na kayo ba Merg na because it's true. It's really
This is true.
No, bay. Di ba Merg? Finally namunga ng perla, di ba? Merg the tower of
It
perla.
bloomed.
The perla lang, perla. It bloomed.
So Bama's not like that. I don't know, when we saw each other, we talk, we hang out. And can I get the conversations was just, we talk anything under the sun.
I just realized, sorry to cut you off, Sho. I just realized, looking at the couples, we call them the ones na nagdayon. So there's Queenie and Jobo. Had a long fourth year or third year pa man siguro sila. And then nagdayon sila. Same thing with Gussie and Neda. And I think
we're very short.
You're the only one, if I'm not mistaken, you're the only one nga murag didn't have the relationship in fourth year, but still friends. And then nagdayon na died afterwards. I just realized.
In fact, when I proposed saya, 6 months after namin yun me. 9 months. Okay,
Tarong nga ba?
Mawayan na niya.
Pero hindi ka mawayan na niya.
Tarong nga ang date. Tarong na.
Sa point ato kay, sure naman ko. Ano ba ito? Sure na ko. I've known her. It wasn't romantic to begin with, but I was just so convinced. So akong point po, point na magdugay-dugay pa. Right?
It's beautiful to see your friendship, on not even looking at you. Usahay bitaw ko na magtanaw ko sa inyong stories and in your social media. Usahay malimtan ako nga minyo mo. Usahay makita ko sa inyo nga marag close mo kini sila nga amigos kad pa sa una. And I think that's one of the reasons why inana bitaw you have such a strong relationship, because the friendship was there since from the beginning, and friendship was there for a long time, ana ba? So it carried over, and that's a strong bond in itself. Kung amigo gid mo, and and that's beautiful in itself, and I'm glad nga wala na nawala, and Bam, to your point of the conversations, I think that's a very healthy and a very core sort of practice or work, within marriage, because it's same thing with me and my wife. Among bonding time kay usually on TV nights, or maski atuging ganinang buntag we were at the gym working out. We had a conversation right after. Bitaw murag spontaneous lang ba ano yan. And that conversation never murag dili up until now. I think we're 15 years or 13 years na miminyo. Up until now murag wa pagyapon mi note danog kanang masturyan bitaw. And that's wonderful. I think that bond will, and because of that bond becomes stronger as you go on. Awesome. Now we're approaching, we're 12 months, 11 months away from our grand reunion. What do you guys, for the both of you, what do you guys expect? Is there anything you would like to experience, to see, to hear in the upcoming reunion? I mean, first of all, mangaten ba mo?
Love to, yeah. You will find time good. Kung timingan na maginag ka ng kundi may maka-attend, it's really because of the things that we're doing.
Yeah.
We're busy with growing kids.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Mo gina siya, but kung dili, kami, actually, dili gayli kay ko gating sa program. It's just more of how do I say this? It's really just wanting to be with the guys you spent life with. I guess kana kay, it's funny thing with programs. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's good, and I'm pretty sure the guys are doing a great job in
Yeah.
raising funds and everything. And sometimes pagod, it steers you away from the things that you needed to actually
100%.
do. And
100%. Yeah.
the lights, the things that you do, nindot siya. But di ba, why do we really go on reunions? Because you wanna catch up.
True.
You wanna catch up, you wanna talk, you wanna
Absolutely.
minus lang connected ka ron. Amo nang mga conversations na din about human life.
Yeah.
And those are the things I wanna avoid. And I don't wanna talk career and what I do.
Okay.
I just wanna talk about life and
Understood.
kana ang akong gilook forward.
Yeah.
Makita sila Buloy, makita mo, sila Ding, sila Japet, sila Virgil. I always look forward to meeting them. And sometimes lagi, bitin na kayo mong paminaw, but you have to go home early. Sometimes ikat na mo, we have kids.
Oh yeah.
At home, the realities of life. But sometimes when you realize that you're there, ang pila lang ka oras lawom nag-effect ba? Marami ito, busog na ka. And I guess that's one thing to look forward to. And siguro, kani show, and ito Mike, no? Anang, siguro dala na sa edad ba? Di na kayo kasustain ng togs, bitaw, kanong inaanang Pero mo na akong ulo, bro. Ano maging dala ba ni si Edad or ako ba ning BP? So, and no joke, nerd. Di ba sa una, togs ging nga tokar nga na din. Pag-drive yung second na, di naman kung patukar music, maminaw lang kung podcast yung mga dala na si Edad. So,
Siguro, yeah.
No, I can relate to. I mean, I play, especially before the pandemic. I was playing almost every weekend there is a Dubai, and I can tell you for a fact, in the middle of it, tatoy one time gin nga nahuman ko 2:00, 3:00. Paguli ako sa balay, my ears were ringing. My ears were ringing.
Wow.
Stay murag.
Tinnitus, my friend.
Oh, murag sakit na mga dalunggan. And then I decided to, okay, I'm gonna switch it up. Murag dito na lang ko sa mga titos and titas. And when I switched to that, I was playing gigs mga 6:00 na show. 6:00 mo man 8:00. So happy na kayo ko. Kay taas na kayo akong tulog.
Daog na.
Taas na kayo tulog. Ang mga tita o mga tito na 6:00, alisiti, sayo na kayo manginom. And the type of music they have are very soulful. No, dili na kay tugs-tugs bitaw. Kanang pleasant to the ears na kayo ba? And very soulful and very vocal. Ikaw kini mo ni, this is the gig that I want. So I can relate to you 100%. Even in my hobby and my semi-profession na gani gyapon. Yeah, I'd stick to the more easy to the ears ng mga music this time around kay dili na kayas dalunggan.
You know it. For expect good more. I mean, Bam, on the day of the homecomings reunion, okay, Kaliso Diyos, once si DJ Fuente, he plays his set, expect good na it's gonna be a mix of many things. What again na? I mean, papatugs-tugs pa na, or it will bring you back to memory lane. There's always something for everybody. So what again? That's the one thing I want to look forward to.
Sorry, Bam, you were saying?
Hopefully ka na.
Yes, we would.
Ako mo ulit. Mo ulit sa tiko.
Looking forward to see you.
First time na ko ni Bam nga mag-appeal og reunion sa atong batch. So imagine that.
May pod. I think it will be one reunion nga mga apilan.
Still reunion.
Ay, mo pag na yung mga reunion, di ba, kanang December mag yun. Ang mong gabuhaton, especially ako, namit sakit nga, dili may mo itong reunion, pero mo mi sa balay ni Nil Muñoz kay dool na siyang birthday.
Sakto.
Pag ikaw swagan dito, may matipok, may makuan, kay, because diba, I look forward to that conversation. So, dito may 2 gigs na kay, so,
Board dito pag-yapan nilang balay sa may city engineers, di ba? Katong eskina. Same place.
That is nice. And
it's like going back to those people na nobody ka ba? Okay, like karon in whatever profession that we are in, wherever you go, you carry that hat and expectations ana nga role that you're playing. So it feels good actually to be amongst people na, hey, you're just you. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what I'm looking forward to. kanan walay achievement lang sa katong high school lang sa ato kung kinsa ta dito kana lang ba walay
Kana lang.
expectation sa ato ang unsa ba imong plano sa imong kinabuhi imong kumpanya and whatever and all the troubles that the government are bringing to us as business people right kanang wala lang sa tanan ba just no
Right.
expectations no pressure from external things just the raw you that people saw
Correct.
way back. And it's just so good to relive that part of you wherein you are actually carefree.
I have one story nga. So ni attend ko katong paguli na ako tong December. Ni attend ko on one of the meetings sa batch. And I think it's funny because it really felt nakalimot ko how it felt like being in high school. So niapil ko dito dagan kay sila obviously na silang Laulaw, silang Mark, silang Brennan, Badit, and a whole lot of people. Nabay ni abot pa si Undoy dito. And and there was a presentation. I think si Brennan man siguro to. So si Brennan was presenting a katong comms plan. I think they were in charge of
Marcom plan, marketing communication.
marketing
Yeah.
communications, and he opened up a laptop which contained a very detailed presentation. Kaya ko, kulba sa ganda. I mean, Brennan, obviously. And then, sa sunod sa Foodcom, ares karedog si Buligo. Laloy, sa sunod loy, Manila paper, lagi ato butangan loy. Kaya wak magkita presentation, di magkita kabalo. Mapil mi ni mga, okay. Murag inanay ya pa ni mong style bitaw sa una nga ma-intimidate ka sa uban nimo classmate and then you joke about things na imo na lang buhaton sa sunod. And yeah, it was yeah, to your point, ma'am, murag it felt kanang di mo ma-help if you're with those people. Di mo ma-help nga you go back to how old were we in high school? Mga 16, 15?
Kana,
Yeah.
13, 14, 15, yes.
When I sat down there and tapad ming buloy, tagaan ko niyog beer, when I sat down there, immediately ma-feel gini mo 15 anyos ko ani nga table. Because of the jokes, ang mga jokes mo gyapon, the way people talk, the way they organize, the way they deal, ang pagka-close, wala pa gyapon. And
Yeah.
shout out to Miti. Sorry Miti, wala ta kadailhan pag abot nga ako. Kung kinsa ni siya.
Tuara.
Nagtapad mi nagstorya pagid mi, napagid siya i-mention sa ako nagstorya pagid mi. And then pag uli na ako, si Miti mo na ito.
Shout out, Mitilin. Mitilin mo na sa high school.
Mitilin Waban.
Tilwaban.
And yeah, it's and to your point, Sho, I think yes. I think most of these preparations, they're doing a great job there. It's
They actually are. Yeah.
I keep on saying that shit is hard organizing this stuff, but
Yeah.
I think we should always remember that in reunions we're longing for those conversations, we're longing for those laughter, catch up, kumusta ka man, how have you been, what were you up to, in the last decade or so. I think that's the most important thing, and I hope we can get to that. Nga dili ra bitaw kaya sobrahan and we get distracted by the all the other unnecessary things.
Yeah, all the spectacle, kumbaga. Yeah, you're right. It's just talking to the people.
Yeah. I think there's no one to impress, Magud. Diba? There's always a certain pressure, Magud, na parang, kita ang batch nga host. By the way, Mark and the rest of the gang are doing a great job.
Yeah.
And
Mark,
going
Laulaw.
Manganta sila and everything like that. I mean, Mark, valedictorian yun, pero grabe yun. Nadala pa yun yung pagka-valedictorian. Kita ni, nadala na pagkamay. Na pa yun. And I really give that to them, and but yun sila Laulaw, but I guess I don't want to downplay it because it is important. Para bitang, but if there's really something I look forward to, it's always the conversation. Katawa karon kay kung magkita mi nilang ding may mga added topic kanang unsay mo maintenance kanang kinsay mong karto na kinansyaway ra may siya nga mato ka dili sa ambot lang kung to karna sa nimo pagapraning no de shout out dito ding pubs we half at those things and magkatawa ra mi about mga inana ba masay mag-text mo siya nga murang magpraning dia you remove the hat that you wear pertaining to a profession,
Yeah.
how kita.
Ang
And
I ask Buloy Kuloy sa tanan nimo natinan unsa to ng mga year ang memorable sa imo nga mga reunion and what was about it. Ang gigon gid ni Buloy is um the crowd lang yun and kung nagtipok ang mga tao, that's number one. Pagkaon is more or less secondary. At least na lang kay ma-munch on to keep you for the night. And then something that would remind you, so either music or unsa pa ba diya. Those are the three things na yung gigon good nga makes and number one is the people who are there and people you're with. Number one. And I'm glad you mentioned that show because I hope and then this is also some sort of a murag, not really a PSA but a reminder sa atong mga organizers that let's make sure that we have that sort of catch up environment and the kumustahan once we get to December hopefully soon.
Yeah, I think it's also a good reminder for the others nga dili ka organized but they're part. We all have our reservations or maulaut or whatever that is. But siguro let's just have that notion ba that when you're going there, you're just gonna go there as a 2K student.
True.
There you go.
Right? Just be there regardless of where you're at. And maybe right now you're just probably stay home mga mom. It's okay because it's still hard work to raise a kid on a full time. I salute to the stay home moms. So kanang kinamog stigma on both ends. And for the reunion to really work, everybody has to come.
Bitaw.
I agree.
Bitaw. And yeah, I agree with that because maminga ang reunion kung wala, there will only be a few of us going there. And yeah, I agree with the hats and the professions thing because again, and pustanay pata, even though we haven't seen, almost for 2 decades or more than 2 decades already. Ang ato gyapon storya ni gikatong sa una gyapon. Whatever we've done, unsa pa man na atong achievements, unsa pa man na atong kumpanya. Dawbe
wala na malabay na.
Gamay ra kay na part of conversation. Ang conversation kikita to nakaigit gid sa una ug sa atong mga
diba? Wala pakialam sa calling card din. Kami every time magkita kami nila Japet, mas toryahan gito namong time nga nagmaoy kay kanang nahubog, nagmaoy kay dili na kanang maglisod na ba graduate and even though we always that inside joke ba nga nagmaoy di ta mention og kinsa ba ang gina-joke per minute kay I love you mama, I love you papa, nahubog na every time it's a classic kapila na mo balik-balikan ng storya pero pag magsura magkatawa
absolutely.
So I get we all need that.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. That's true.
All right, before we wrap up, Kay, we've taken so much of your time and from the bottom of my heart, salamat kay sa inyo dua for sharing your time with us. One last thing before we wrap up. Anything? What are you both up to apart from being magnificent parents? What are you up to in the next maybe year or so? What are the things that you're most excited of?
Siguro, I'll start na lang. Yeah, if you don't know, Ivor and I we have a school
Yeah,
for children.
heard about it. Yeah.
Really, for children especially. It's an inclusive school. So that's something that I really, really am passionate about. So yeah, I'm praying that the Lord will really grant all the necessary finances to have a place for these children. Excellent. I do believe that something great can come from Mindanao, and if we can set the standard for how these children should be educated, then why not? So yeah, that's really what I'm up to. Not just for this year, but I think I'll be busy with that for the years to come. Kaya maluoy jud ko ani nga mga bata, Dave, Mike, marag grabe gyud marag. My heart really is for them to give space to them, to put dignity in them. Not just to the child, not just for the child, but really for the parents also. Kaya dili sa'yo.
True.
Dili sa'yo.
That's true.
Special needs. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Sige lang, trivia lang gamay. what led us to have a school, aside from, we prayed about it, especially si Bam, our kids are diagnosed with ADHD
Mm.
Dyslexia.
and
Yes.
dyslexia. And our youngest daughter is diagnosed most likely ADHD na. And if you're wondering, nagikan, genetics na, lisod sa si Bambi na.
Lisod sa si Bambi.
Sa si Bambi na, come on. Like,
Sa
diba?
kasoft-spoken ni Bambi.
It's not organized. So that's definitely not Bam. So when we found out na inana among children, doha ra gyud pang tanong na ang punuan kinsa na. So that's just me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
they're really the propeller.
Mm.
I don't think we'd fly this way into this direction without our kids. So we have really become our primary motivation, and I think it was just through that others were blessed also, because we we have to do everything as parents to give them a good life, diba, and a chance at success.
And
So-
good luck and God bless you both on that endeavor. And makarelate ko because I was also, well, it's unofficially diagnosed mampud, but I have according sa akong na storya nga psychiatrist, unofficially lang kay lisod kayo mag kuwag diagnosis mga diri sa Dubai kay daghan pa kay agian mitaw with insurance and stuff. But
That's
according to her, I have ADHD with a spectrum of high performing autism kuno. So it's in hearing that, I think it was probably 5 years ago, well, after pandemic, hearing that,
For pandemic.
nakaingon ko, now a lot of things make sense. And why I was this, why I'm that, why I'm this way, why I'm on some things it's hard to cope up with, topics and task, why I'm jumping sort of
Yeah.
from one interest
task to another.
one interest to another, and dili, for example, kung na ko schedule nga trabaho at 3 p.m. kung 2:30 pa lang kalon di ko matrabaho kay nakaset na sa huno na nga 3 p.m. gi ko magsuot. So things like that. It's it's hard and inana and na ako ma-imagine nga ma-diagnose ko ana, but hearing now adult, it clicks, but at the same time at least it brings to your consciousness nga mo day na akong struggle day. Ano ito?
Yeah, but yun nga, namagod tayo, di ba, sometimes pag because sa ilang description na yung labels, we have to parang natin tendency to view it as something negative, but it's actually a gift too. I mean,
True.
you are an artist. You can do many things most people can do.
Mm.
And siguro kay nana, when I found out that our kids were diagnosed, kabalo man gyud ko, di gina si Bambi, so ako dito. I was 31 years old. I was weeping in the parking lot. Ang kinagila ko di na ko ma-take ang label na among kids are diagnosed with, ang DISA ADHD is disorder.
Yes.
My kids have mental disorder. So, but then again, when you get educated and when you learn and when you're just you're gonna humble yourself and get help, the more you realize na daghan di pwede ma-harness. So, going back sa tong time, wala di bugok ba? Wala lang dito na diagnose.
Exactly.
Diba?
True.
Passing
Exactly true.
Diba? Murabi tawag.
Exactly true. Yeah.
Na, ang katong kabagsak sa algebra kay ang squared kay ang pananaw to kay Zina or 1 na libat na.
Right.
And I don't know. But now the world is open and there are many ways to learn it, and siguro mo na ang nasa mga we want to bring that, that's why we're not ashamed to talk about it. Si Bam, she posts about it because we just want to let people know na, hey, we have that and we're fine.
Yeah,
and you be fine too. You just have to be open. So like sa young end mo man na, technically that's her ministry. I have mine, and I guess most of you guys know I'm a pastor. But I'm also I maintain my business, but not as much as I did before. Ministry and goal, and I just like where I am at, and it's just so different. One of the drive is just to keep preaching. That's it. Para bitaw, don't force things.
Yeah.
I don't rub it on people, but I just want to share what I have and wanna share it. So we have different ways of doing things and wanting to bring meaning, and I think that's very important. I think that's the greatest legacy, and muna mong gusto nga we could always, make money at the end of the day, but we don't want to pass that kind of value to our kids.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. No, that's really beautiful out there. And nag 2 hours na kita, and I don't want to take so much of your time. Kay gabi na po, and I know you have a busy day and a busy week. Again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much, Ivor and Bambi. And it was beautiful to see you both, to talk to you both, and to hear your story. So thank you for sharing your time.
thank you, Pod. We're honored to be here.
Salamat kay amping mo kanunay. Yeah.
All right. Mike, Titi Dave, appreciate this.
Oo, Lord. Bam.
All right, I'll this is,
You do the honors, Dave. Sige. Go ahead.
No, we can do the intro outside para ma-confident. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can let
Offline
go of Ivor and Bambi as well. So you guys have a good night, have a good week, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Hopefully in December in person.
Hopefully sa
And
December.
God bless you both.
All right.
See
Bye.
ya.
Good night.
Alright.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Ikaw lang at walang